What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dice That Bind Us. My name is Alex. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the DM of this lovely, lovely group of individuals surrounding me. And I can't speak for them, but I am so excited to be back playing this game, doing this thing, because it's always so much fun with all of you.
Hello, my name is Zach. I play Tumult, and today I'm being my normal chaotic self and mixing up our order, and we go by he, him pronouns.
Hello, I'm Rob. I play Anook Hoki Iti, the Goliath druid from the coast. And we use he, him pronouns most of the time.
Hello, my name is Ian. I play Tepartos the Third, the Furbolg, maybe dwarven cleric of Sylvanas, life cleric, that is. And the two of us both use he, him, his pronouns.
Hello, friends. I am your illustrious guest player, Kimber. I am playing Harlan Dino, who uses he, him pronouns, the half-elf warlock paladin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, none of you know that.
That's fun.
My name is Dash. I use they, them, their pronouns, and I play Lysander Elias, the Furbolg Paladin to Sylvanas, and Lysander uses he or they pronouns.
My name's Devin. I use they, he pronouns, and I play Ileana, the sea elf wizard that uses she pronouns.
Hi, I'm Az. I use they, them pronouns, and I play Tempard, the human bard / fighter, trying to be a wizard, who also uses they, them pronouns.
Doing a great job.
I'm Dakota. I play Garagak, the half-orc barbarian druid, and we use he, him pronouns.
And as always, well, as 95% of the time, I find myself feeling infinitely lazy this evening. So I once again will not be doing a recap for all of you of what happened last episode. Zach already has his hand up, which means he either decided to take notes, which he does on occasion, and generally that's when he raises his hand for these things, or he just doesn't have DM inspiration. He's going to give it a shot. So, Zach, by all means, take it away. What happened last week on the Dice That Bind Us?
Combination of both. I do have 1 point left, but gotta save up. So we started last week with a shopping spree, and then that kind of took up quite a bit of our time, and then we moved on to a party and a nearby inn, and 2 of our party branched off at that point. After their shopping spree, Ileana went off to go fill up their spell book at a cafe, and Tempard joined them. And Olan ran a few unfortunate errands for us as he went to go meet old Gnawbones, and Poison Drippy Skin Self smelt terrible when he showed up. We also found out that it was his power lets him not delve into these things, and it was kind of interesting to find out. And then he played Dragon Cup with Tepartos, used his magic to win, which isn't cheating. That was the first time Tepartos has lost at Dragon Cup, so that was hilarious too. And we ended the night off, leaving enough time to involve Garagak, who unfortunately had a purple bucket on his head last week, so was unable to participate fully in everything. And I was getting help from Olan, casting a new spell I have that I'd never been able to cast yet.
Yeah, that was mostly good. The point of DM inspiration worthy. You didn't leave out any of the major stuff. So you guys are indeed at the inn waiting for day to come, taking a well-deserved night of relaxation on your first night back on the prime material plane. We are going to soon skip to the morning of everything that's going on, but I want to make sure everybody got to everything they wanted to do at the end. For sure, we're going to do the conversation between Olan and Tumult, and we're going to catch up Garagak because he wasn't here last week to make sure that he has stuff that if he has anything he wants to do while we're around, and we're going to figure out when Ileana and Tempard join with the rest of the party. So let's start with pre-Dragon Cup and mass drinking Olan and Tumult. Olan meets up with you over in the corner, this little booth that you've been sitting at waiting. And he walks over and goes, "So, you have a spell you needed help with or something?"
Yes. Every time I cast it, it seems like the image in my head of what I want is pulled in what seems to be 3 different directions, but I don't know what all 3 of them lead to, and I think that's what comes to my standpoint in choosing.
What spell, if I may ask?
It is a summoning spell from the Warlocks list called Summon Aberration.
Olan looks at you and he goes, "That's pretty powerful stuff." You said you're having trouble with specifying or with choosing when you.
Yes, it's been hard getting it to form one of the 3 because I guess I don't know what they all look like yet.
Well, if that's your problem, I can show you. If you want to know what all of these things are.
Yes.
Of course, of course. Let me. I'll be right back. And you see he steps away, like steps through a ring and walks immediately back out the other side of that ring holding this big ass book. It's like probably 11 inches thick, about 1.5 feet tall, about 1.5 feet wide. You see the title is Bestiary Chronicles, volume 168. And proceeds to flip it open and shows you each of these creatures and talks to you a little bit about what they can do, talks to you a little bit about why you would choose those different creatures. Feel free to just look up each of those things. Yeah, and he asks, so is that all you needed help-wise, or is there anything else that you seemed to it seemed like you were stressing about something more than just I hadn't seen pictures of a creature before?
It was more so I just felt a little out of tune of magic, but I'm sure I'll talk to him soon. I don't have to sleep at night, so.
The djinn? The.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you can reach out wherever now that you guys are back. I'm not familiar with warlock magic myself. It's not how I was trained, but I know how it works. I know what it is, but I've never had one of those relationships myself, if that makes sense.
It's very unique, and then for sure. But thank you for helping me come with the images. I feel like this will help me understand the spell a little bit better and hopefully not have it blow up in my face like a few have in the past. Learning magic is hard.
Learning magic is hard. Imagine it being supercharged and uncontrollable when you're first learning.
I would very much love to come back here when we're done with our thing.
I would welcome you with open arms. We can teach you how to be even more badass than you already are. Why don't you keep this? Just in case. This is my personal one. I have the entire chronology at home. You can have this one. I'll get another copy. Really easy.
Yes. And then as an afterthought, I almost forget, as I put it into my new portable holes, I glanced at the spell book that I came back with and like, I did have another thing. This is something that hasn't happened before, and I will pull the book out. I can't read this no matter what I do with it.
Immediately a smile crosses his face and goes, well, it makes sense you can't read that because it's magic that nobody knows about. Well, most people don't know about.
Assuming you know about it.
It's very familiar, and you see he flicks his hand ever so briefly, and his spell book falls out and floats next to him. You can see very similar language used inside. The language in question is called Arcanatum. It is the language we use to scribe down the power that our spellstones give us. We learn this language, can use it to communicate between us just like any other language, but when we use it to write down what we would like our spells to do, imagine copying a spell to a spell book, but being able to change any of the words that you want. Imagine learning a basic fireball spell and knowing 30-foot radius, 120-foot range to cast it, and then just saying, you know what? Why don't I just change that 30-foot radius to 120-foot radius instead? That's what we can do. Not to that extreme, not right away, but as we get stronger, we can learn more powerful spells and bend magic in more creative ways. It's limited. We have to use part of the Spellstone's essence to do it, but that's how all this works.
Do you have a way to learn this language? I know it's not going to be immediate, but I will have a lot of time on my hands to study.
So my answer is yes and also no. I can give you the necessary writings to learn how to do basic translations of Arcanatum. When you learn how to read the language, all of the words in that book are going to disappear to you.
Uh-oh.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It means these books are very special. Generally, they are handcrafted for someone when they pass their exams as an Arcanist Magnate. So each one is very specific. So even I can look at that book and I see blank pages, but I know it's full because someone used that as their focus as an Arcanist Magnate. I can't tell you who. I don't know who it belonged to, but in all reality, they're probably dead.
You keep speaking of this Arcanist Magnate, this special breed of Arcanist that seems to be important to you and your culture here. What makes them different from what one would normally see in regards to the arcane arts?
If I would love to explain it, and I'm going to, but we should get everybody together first.
Okay.
So potentially a conversation for the morning.
Please.
You can ask me all the questions about the Arcanist Magnate that you so desire, and I will answer them to the best of my ability without committing myself to a life sentence or a death sentence.
That seems a little bit melodramatic and unnecessary.
Have you ever seen someone that can teleport as far, as fast, or as frequently as I can?
To be fair, Departos has really never seen anybody who can teleport.
Right.
Period.
So those secrets probably shouldn't get out to the mass.
Exactly.
That seems bad.
What Departos is saying is that the term Arcanist Magnate has been thrown around a lot, and if Departos is to be working with you and your associates, Departos would like to know the definition of the term and what exactly he should expect from said people, along with what they can do for him and his party.
Assuredly, we will cover it in the morning. For now, I have done a lot of work for you.
You have.
I have worked very hard today in general. And I would, to put it as respectfully as possible, love to get fucked up for a night. Would be great.
Yes, Departos understands. We shall convene in the morning. You do whatever you need to do, and Departos will not fight you on any venture of your cause.
Wonderful. So, party?
Hey, is there a grove or, a wooded area, something natural or a park, close by?
I think I know a place that you'll enjoy. Do you trust me? As far as would be willing to walk through one of these circles with me?
I don't.
I know.
Yeah. But wait, just one moment. I turned it to Partos.
Yes.
Reach into the hole, pull out about 100 gold, hand it to you. You're in charge of this. Make sure everybody have a good time.
Do you want more than this to be brought back to you at the end of the night?
Whatever comes back to me is what comes back to me. It's all good, yeah?
You are a good man, Anuk. I need you to know this.
All right.
Thank
I'm
you.
ready to go.
We will have a excellent time. Thank you.
Olan gestures, or flicks his fingers rather, and a circle appears. And even just glancing through where normally it is this black void behind it, you can see there is something that is overpowering the planar magic that he uses to cast this spell. And you can see this outline of just this very tall, slender silver tree. Just a singular one. He goes, follow me. And he walks through the ring and it stays waiting for you.
I go through.
Perfect. You appear on the other side and you find yourself in the center of a circular garden area. Surrounding you, up farther than your eye can see through the thick forest, you see pure silver trees extending quarter-mile high, half-mile high in some spaces.
Okay.
There is the most colorful and vibrant plant life growing all around you. Flowers and berries, and you can see there is animals running wild through here. You see a family of deer run by. You see flocks of birds from seemingly all over the Primaterial Plane flying around you. And in the direct center of the area he's brought you to, there is a singular tree that, while all of them have this silvery sheen to them, it looks like it's made of metal. All of the trees here look like it is made of silver. But this one in the center, you can see, nature, this is the oldest tree here. And it gives you similar vibes to the tree in Golden Fields. It is old, it is magical, it is powerful, and it is connected to something far more powerful than anything on the prime material should be. The tree itself, the bark looks like naturally hewn blades of various kinds. Each small strand of bark is sharp on the edges, and you can see through that the inside of this tree, you can see the rings like you normally would be if you stripped the bark off a tree, but each one of them looks to be made of solid gold. This Olan looks to you and goes, we call this the harbor. It's I'll show you. And you see he walks to a small tree and reaches up to it and pats it lovingly and like with almost reverence before pulling off a single piece of bark. Turns and looks at you, and you can see that this bark, as soon as it's removed from the tree, shifts and turns into one of the into a crystalline shape. This very jagged, uncut, unworked gemstone of pure silver. This is where our spellstones come from.
Oh, hey. This got some big mana to it. I think if it's okay with you, I'd like to sleep here tonight.
By all means. I trust you, being the man of nature you are. Don't disturb the trees.
Oh no, I ask for, I ask them before I do anything. I ask for consent before I mess with them.
I wish that was a trait that most people would adhere to. I don't know why, and I know I shouldn't, but I trust you and your friends. Most of you. And let's just say I wouldn't normally bring someone here. You're technically nowhere near the city of Silvery Moon.
Technically.
There is much respect between you and I appreciate that.
Here, and hands you a very small, what looks to be, it looks like the type of gem that would be used to make a sending stone, but it is a very thin piece of it. Hands it to you and says, just use this, you break it, and you'll be able to let me know in the morning when you're ready to come and rejoin with everyone, and we'll get you back. But
yeah,
you are absolutely safe here. Feel free to take as much time as you would like.
Thank you. This is very important.
You're very important, I feel. With that, I will let you have your time in nature, and I will return. Nods cordially, turns around, and steps back through a hole, reappearing in the tavern.
Hold on, if I may.
Sure.
Our conversation for the day earlier, but if there's like a suggestion box for the Arcanus Magnate or something, I don't think opening with racism is such a great idea for your organization in the future, and I think you should keep that in mind because it immediately put me on edge. I can't imagine it's comfortable for you, a fellow half-elf, to be put on the opposite end of that every day.
There is something to be said of tried and true actions that have results. It is relatively commonly known that those put on edge and those put into a situation where they are uncomfortable will have one of two responses. One, they will lose standing and they will be more willing to comply. On the other coin, they will react with harshness and aggression and be much less willing to comply. So by creating uncomfortable situations, we find out the true nature of someone before a question is asked. It is not my favorite thing to hear, but it's effective. And none of the feelings hold weight with any of us.
Hold weight. My ass, Olan. My ass, it holds weight. It doesn't hold weight, rather. You can't say that. There are other ways to get people to do what you want. I'm sorry. Sure, yes, I am a criminal to a certain extent. I am an unsavory person, and you had every right to lock me up earlier today, but that's not how you get people to be on your side. I'm sorry.
And what would you suggest we do?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of a city.
Well, then perhaps you don't speak on what it takes to run one.
I do know people, I think, though, and I think that's the wrong way to get them to do what you want.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Harlan. Don't get me wrong.
Fair enough.
In most cases, tradition is absurd. The true reasoning behind it all holds true. Make someone uncomfortable, they will hold to one of two standings. Our current High Arbiter goes about it differently than the last one did. if you would like to write out a formal complaint, I will deliver it. Where I can tell you it'll promptly be thrown into a bin of some kind or simply burnt. Because people in power tend to abuse said power. And don't like critique.
Fair
What
enough,
I can
I'll,
tell you is that there's a good chance that after the fiasco with the theft, the current High Arbiter will likely not be in standing for much longer.
That makes me happy. I don't know why. I don't even know the fucker.
You know him
It
well
makes
enough.
me happy. Do I?
He's a bit of an ass.
Oh, was he the one that we spoke to earlier?
Yes.
Was that him?
Yes.
Yes. He's an ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, forgive me. I have no ill will towards you. I think you're a good bloke.
It's probably for the best. I'd hate to see anything happen to that cute little smile of yours. Should we ever come to blows.
Don't you dare touch me ever again.
Fair enough. I will restrain myself for the future.
Throw my scarf over my shoulder and walk away.
Garagak, you find yourself in the city of Silvery Moon, which is a massive, shining elven city. It is, imagine a more urbanized version of Rivendell. It is large white towers, immaculate buildings, the cleanest streets you've ever seen. And one of the as has been explained to your party, the home of some of the most powerful magic users in existence. You guys are currently sitting in a tavern, having a good night. Is there anything specific Garagak would like to do in this city, or with Olan, who is this very helpful half-elven gentleman who has been helping show you around the city, helping basically just trying to be as helpful as he can. So if there's anything you would like to do in this situation, please feel free to do so.
Am I Toongak still? No. Okay. I would like to order a shot of Fireball.
Oh.
And then look at Olan, you said his name is?
Yes.
And be like, look, I'm a wizard too.
He looks at you.
Do I believe him?
I believe him.
Harlan, go ahead and roll an insight check.
I know nothing about Garagak. So.
Olan looks at you with just this ridiculously large smile on his face and goes, yes, Harlan, you believe full well that Garagak is in fact a wizard. Olan looks at you with this ridiculously large smile on his face and goes, that is probably the first joke I've heard that is wizard related that I had never heard before and made me laugh.
This man is clearly a powerful wizard. I don't know what you're talking about.
You see Olan's eye flickers at the edge just for a brief second. You don't, Harlan, but Garagak, you do. And he turns and goes, I meant because he produced a fireball without casting a spell. It was a funny joke. That's what people do.
You know, not my proudest moment, Olan. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Your rooms are paid for. You can get the key from the bartender, who is
Thank
already
you.
standing there with a key, just ready for you. Looks at you, Garagak, and goes, obviously waiting for Harlan to get out of earshot. Looks at you. Goes, you are magic, though. Even though you're not a wizard.
A little magical.
I mean, a little is something, right?
That's true. I will cast Druidcraft and make a little flower and hand it to him.
I can see why there is such a bond between you and Anouk.
Yeah, he is my teacher.
You can tell that you look up to the man. I am going to put this as respectfully as I possibly can. Please try to keep your cool in the city. Some of the other members of my order do not look so happily upon chaos. And I have a gut feeling that you are prone to it.
Oh, I'm known for keeping a good head.
I believe you. Just as a note.
Okay.
How about I buy you an actual drink?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right. Turns, looks at the bartender, simply holds up 2 fingers and then a finger that points straight up. And you can see the bartender pulls one of like the sliding ladders you'd find in a library to get to the higher shelves, slides it over. And as he climbs up this ladder, the top half of him phases through the roof of the bar. So you can't see what he's grabbing, where you're grabbing it from, but he comes back down and with this bottle that is made of a material you've never seen before. It looks crystalline, like it looks like some sort of gemstone, but the entire bottle is almost opalescent. It's refracting colors in ridiculous ways. It seems, think like Northern Lights of Aurora Borealis running through the stone itself. Opens it, pours the drink, and very small, like half-shot glasses. He goes, try this. See how it makes you feel.
Okay, I'll take the shot.
Top shelf liquor.
Does alongside you. Garagak, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Shit. All right.
You got this. You should be monster constitution.
I am plus
Right.
7, but I rolled really bad.
Garagak, you don't get drunk. It doesn't like immediately make you have that lightheaded, dizzy sensation. Instead, you feel calm. You feel relaxed. You feel like all of the weight of the world, of your situation that you found yourselves in, of everything you guys experienced in Dandelion is just gone. Normally, this is a very strange feeling for people, to have none of the stress of the world, to have none of the stress of their life. But for you, it's almost at this point feels like a return to normalcy in some way. It feels just like what happened to you when you were Toongak. But instead of it being forced upon you, like you were unable to feel those emotions, it feels like you don't want to.
Okay.
It leads to similar things like being drunk does, where you're less shy, you're more out there, you're going to do more things, but it's not a case of losing those inhibitions to not to do those things. It is a lack of the anxiety to stop you from doing those things. And yeah, Olan looks at you and goes, good?
Yeah, really tasty.
Good. I had a feeling it might make you feel a little less strange in the circumstance. I know adjusting to life-changing events can be hard. So I wanted to help. That bottle is yours.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Of course. I have conversations to have and a game of Dragon Cup to go and obliterate someone in, but other than that,
Did
I'm
somebody
around.
say Dragon Cup?
I'll bet you 100 gold that I beat him.
I'll take that bet.
You wholeheartedly lose that bet in a matter of seconds.
I'm sorry,
This
guys.
Olan is a practitioner of portal magic. What he does is create portals and transport them.
Tepartus does not cheat.
I was unaware.
He is a Dragon Cup purist.
Yeah. He looks at you and also knows that you have no money.
Oh yeah, I don't, do I?
None of us do.
I forgot. I still had the gold on my character, so I was like, oh, what do you mean?
No, you have nothing. But he looks at you and goes, he hands you 20 gold and says, I suckered you into that a little bit, so there you go.
Thanks.
He moves on to more conversations, more merriment for the rest of the evening, and we are going to jump over to Ileana and Tempar, who are sitting at a cafe. What would you guys like to accomplish with the rest of your evening?
We wanted to go to the library first. We had a small conversation about, like, can we stop at the library before heading to the cafe?
Yeah, you can go to a library.
Cool. We're heading to the library.
Cool. You're gonna skip it along with you?
And where's the library? I have no idea where we are.
Where's somebody?
You ask some people walking down the street past you, and they point you to this massive building. Large columns in the front, probably the biggest building you've seen in your entire life. Bigger than the police station. That's the word that I was looking for there. That you guys had entered originally. The biggest building in this city, for sure. Very, very elegant. You can see that same filigree that was on the outer walls of this city is much smaller, but runs down each individual line of these columns that are made. And each of them seems to, like it was outside, be etched with gold filigree painting of some kind. You enter, I assume. And as you walk in, it is amazing. You see that there are subsections of this place that are labeled out that is mostly staircases that lead up to a second floor of some kind, each of them showing different genres of book, different styles of research. You can see it is divided directly down the center of research and nonfiction and fictional works, be it historical or fantasy or whatever. They seem to have a mutual respect for both.
Awesome.
There's a person sitting at a front desk, again, an elf, this time a wood elf, who is sitting wearing very light, looks almost silk robes, that just sitting, waiting, and as you enter, looks at you and goes, "Greetings. How may I be of service?"
Do you have anything you want to check out first?
I'll let you go first. I'm kind of interested to see what you want to look at.
I want a reference book for the Arcanus Magnum. Magnate. Yeah, the special magic. And then I also want a How to Be a Wizard book.
Yeah, but a little bit.
I cannot help you with the first. The Arcanus Magnate writings are very, very well guarded, very well kept. It is the heart of most of our society, so we don't just hand books out of this is what we are, this is how our secrets work. The second, however, I can help with. I do want to preface this, though, with you know that becoming a wizard is not as easy as reading a book.
That's why I have this one.
Have you ever taught someone to be a wizard before?
Nuh-uh.
Two curious individuals wishing to take first steps to new experiences.
Yeah.
That is something I can support wholeheartedly. Come with me. And you see that the gentleman leads you over to one of the staircases, walks up, and as you pass through it, it opens up to another floor of this building that is the size of the one below. And it is filled to the brim. You notice the label in the top is the basics of magic in most forms. And there's subsections for each kind of magic that you would normally see represented. There is broader categories of divine and arcane and natural. And then in each one is broken down to the fundamentals of wizardry. You see there are books that contain spells of every level cascading around this room. Leads you further in, shows you to this this section, this fundamentals of wizardry section, and walks through and pulls out a few books for you. Ileana, you would probably recognize a few of these names. They're pretty fundamentally used books to train wizards. Things teaching you about the art of spell scribing, of copying spells, of learning spells into your spell book. Things that would teach you the finer points of the differentiation between the types of arcane magic, the key fundamental differences of, and while biased, the book goes into detail of why being a wizard is better than being a bard, warlock, or sorcerer, and here's why. And goes through just all of these very basic foundation knowledges of wizardry, and goes, you should check these out. Do you have any ideas of your specification in mind of what you would want to be studying?
I want to learn how to summon an owl familiar. And I want to learn the spell grease.
You can already learn the spell grease.
Yeah, but I want to learn it as a wizard.
Fair
I can't
enough.
summon a familiar as a wizard. I can't summon a familiar as a bard, though.
That might be a good idea, trying to start with a spell that you already know. I mean, maybe give you some familiarity with it, and then you kind of cast it the way that I cast stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well, very well. Do you have any idea of what school of magic you want to focus on?
Not a clue.
Probably like conjuration, if they want to summon like owl stuff, right?
Familiars are rudimentary. You will learn the art of summoning a familiar as early as you'll discover it early on. We'll say that much. You take these, reaches over, grabs another book. This goes over what the different schools of magic are, and a brief synopsis about them. And the book is probably 4 or 5 inches thick. So you gather this is a wizard's brief synopsis, not a normal person's brief synopsis.
I grab it with excitement. This is the one that I read. Here, it'll help you a lot.
So excited.
I hope you understand that wizardry is mostly reading.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah, I like to read a lot.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in your new chosen path.
Do you also happen to have like a history of your town, like in a book?
We have not particularly. Our town has been through this town itself. The Silvery Moon you've been to and have grown to know has only been around for a few centuries. Silvery Moon, at its heart, has been around for millennia. The town of Silvery Moon was around before the deitic individuals left the primaterial plane to form their own planes of existence. We were a bastion of humanity eons ago. When you go through that much, knowledge is lost. If you have specific questions, I can answer them to the best of my ability, but as far as a written history of the entire town of Silvery Moon, such a thing does not exist.
I guess one more book then. Do you have a book about dragons?
I have many books about dragons. What specifically?
Do you have books about dragon courting rituals?
You mean the mating calls between various dragons, the way that they would court one another, the intricacies of dragon romance. And
Yes.
are you looking to read for fun, or are you looking to read for knowledge?
Knowledge.
I'll grab both.
Okay.
Leads you through the rest of the library. Pulls out a book that goes over the basic of dragon knowledge. One that is breeding patterns of dragons, and then one that is called My Scaly Aftermath, which is you had to go to the opposite side of the library for that one.
I was not ready for that. Oh man.
I'm very excited for
Oh, damn it.
Tempard get very confused as to which one is fiction and not.
Hands you both and goes, those books will not leave this town.
No, I'll return everything when we're done. We're just gonna go over to the coffee shop, have some coffee, and eat and such.
You do understand that you will not. You know what? Good luck. Leads you back to the front door, and
I have a couple of books that I want to.
oh, apologies. I was will say caught off guard. What can I grab for you?
It is okay. I understand. So it's a little bit on the more serious note, but do you have any books about like this weapon that I keep hearing about? I don't know. It's like something that the giants are making or something.
I have books written by survivors of the Dragon Giant War that discuss what it was like to have experienced the weapon in use. I don't have any, schematics or blueprints or anything of the nature, but I can get you what it will cause should it be completed.
Well, that would be okay too. I feel like if I at least have some knowledge of it, maybe I can help people afterwards, or maybe even try to prevent it. But I don't like going into situations blind,
I 100% agree. I'm a studier of the arcane, much like yourself. Specifically, enchantment is my specialty.
Oh, fun.
Let me grab you what I have. Is there anything else that you would like to check out or look through?
Do you have like any kind of geographical books about the mountains up north? I think we're going there next.
Going up to the spine, are we?
Yeah.
I have some maps. I have some how-tos of basic mountaineering.
That would be great. I grew up in a forest, and I've never been in the snow or the mountains, and I'm kind of scared.
You are likely to run into both snow and mountains in the spine of the world, so I will grab those for you post-haste and return here.
Thank you.
Comes back with a book that looks very different from most of the books you see. This one is, the cover is what looks to be some sort of Arctic fox pelt. Wrapped around it, it is all of the pages are hodgepodge together of various different kinds of parchment that could be found. And the entire thing is very much so a survivor's journal. It is various different handwriting and languages and all sorts of different stories. At a brief glance, it's probably some of the most horrifying things you've ever read. Not to make the adjunct comparison, but imagine reading Anne Frank's diary for the first time. I'm not saying that it is to the same scale. That was horrid, but it is that same feeling of just empathetic tragedy, and that's just off of a brief glance. The wood elven gentleman looks at you and goes, I don't overdo it with that. I myself have only ever gotten through probably the first 2/3. The others, lighter note here, hands you just very basic, like there's a few scrolls of maps of the spine of the world and various little locations that have been found throughout. There's like a hiking trail map that shows you like good places you could go for good views. There's a settlements and locations map. There's a map that shows where all the small rivers and tributaries run through the mountains. Just basically very basic information for someone like. I mean, you're from Colorado. You live in Colorado. It's someone going to Boulder for the first time and being like, "How does hiking work?" And just getting that look of sheer confusion from people, and then the plethora of pamphlets that they would be handed soon after.
Okay.
If you're not from Colorado and you come here to hike, ask someone you know. Don't make an ass of yourself. Just don't do it. But yes, is there anything else you guys would like to do with the library?
Let's do it.
No, I think that's it. I think it's time to borrow the books and go to cafe.
Okay.
Take the books and put them in the bag of holding. And thank you so much for bringing them back before we leave. I promise.
They would not actually physically leave the town in any capacity anyhow, so I trust that. Good luck with your studies. You guys go to the cafe. You have all of these books. What would you guys like to do? It is getting pretty late at this point. The cafe is open 24 hours. It's very much so just a stop and lounge area. But
we got coffee.
Yeah. Should we check in on our friends and see if they're okay?
We can do that. Let me grab it. Do you want to get a coffee to go?
Let's sit here and have coffee and then like read a book or two and then.
Okay.
You spend probably an hour or two reading. What books would you guys like to read specifically in that time?
Ileana will look at you and try to help you because we're like if you're looking to get into the wizard books right now.
Yeah, I'll start with the wizard books and then I'll read the dragon books.
Okay.
So I will start by reading the How to Be a Wizard, and start trying to learn about how to write spells so that I can learn to like copy grease into my spellbook now.
Okay. I'll do my very best to like try to guide you along.
So you spend and Ileana, you are forgoing your own reading to help Tempard, or are you reading something on your own?
I'm going to forgo reading to help Tempard.
Okay. Az, go ahead and give me an intelligence check with advantage.
15.
Nice.
Perfect. It comes relatively naturally. You are a bard. You've trained in magic most of your life. So a lot of the fundamentals are similar. The different types of components, verbal, somatic, material, those kinds of things. Like it breaks a lot of that stuff down. You barge through that stuff easy. You know that. You've done that. There is some of the more intricate things of spell copying specifically that take you a little bit of time to try and parse together. With Ileana's help, you manage. It's not a like, yes, you now know how to copy spells into a spell book, but getting the basic layers of knowledge and finding those connections of how those things work will make it training for you easier. So now, as long as you continue spending time with Ileana during your guys' downtime, during those things, you can, when you next level up, you will be able to take a level in Wizard. But only if you dedicate yourself, like every bit of downtime, every bit of everything, all that stuff, we'll have to go to that.
We'll do some roleplay next time too.
Okay. Yeah.
How I teach you.
Cool.
Yeah. You guys spend a few nights, or you guys spend a few hours rather, in this cafe. Then you go back to the tavern where you know your friends went, and you walk in just in time to see a very droopy-headed Tapartos losing a game of Dragon Cup.
Damn it!
But with most of the party regathered, most of you enjoying your night or pursuing various projects of your own. One last final check. Is there anything anybody wants to do before morning?
Since I'm in this very special grove, I'm gonna use a 3rd level spell and cast Speak with Plants. And I will ask permission from the plants to sleep at their roots.
Are you asking generic plant life, or are you
No,
asking?
I'm gonna start with the main
Perfect.
tree itself.
Anuk, you cast Speak with Plants, and you do I have permission to sleep among you? Can I do this thing? And a humanoid figure steps out from behind the tree. No features, no details, just this faint, pale silver energy forms a just basic humanoid shape who looks at you. It is not often that we have someone come and ask us for permission.
Well, it's only right, yeah?
It is a noble thing, and one worthy of respect. Thank you. And of course, feel free to spend as much time here as you would like.
Thank
We
you.
will keep you safe through the night so that you may sleep peaceful and get some relaxation. I get the sense off of you that it's something that could be greatly used in this time.
Oh yeah, but who couldn't, right?
Perhaps we make it a little more comfortable for you. You see this figure gestures, and some of the trees themselves shift and intermingle, their branches growing almost instantaneously, falling down. And you see they make a small sheltered area, just a little covered lean-to style area. Some of the leaves that have fallen to the ground shift and coalesce into a sleeping pad type thing. The figure looks at you and goes, I know it's likely not your usual. You looks to be a person that just enjoys the ground where they lay, no matter where that land may be, but a comfortable night on at least a loose bed does wonders for everyone, time to time.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
Please return. It would be nice to have someone more respectful around.
Thank you. I appreciate this, and you do me great honor. And I'm going to keep the spell up just so I can listen to the wildlife, or to the trees and the plants and whatever talking to themselves as I go in and lay down and go to sleep.
You having the spell open, you hear...
It only lasts 10 minutes, so...
Yeah, but even as you're laying down, you hear faint singing. You hear this faint... I've been racking my brain of, like, I have it in my notes of, like, there's this really angelic singing. Find a different example than this one. But the only example I have is, imagine the Halo theme song.
Okay.
This very pulled back, just very choral music that harmonizes through the trees, and it's not loud enough to keep you awake. It is just this gentle background noise that...
Oh, I'm out like a light.
Yeah. Morning comes. All of you, besides Anuk, are gathered in the dining area of the tavern, where Olan is sitting, sprawled out, no longer wearing his like formal uniform, but just wearing very simple, basic, like dark blue robes. And you can see that there is breakfast waiting for you. A full, lavish spread out across this table of meats and berries and all of this just amazing food waiting for you.
And you said just to break it, right? Yep. So I just snap.
Perfect. The rest of you walk down the stairs, see the food, and goes, I figured that you would know. Well, I assumed you would need something of a pick-me-up this morning.
Yes. Good morrow, friend.
I'll be back. Turns and just like steps through a ring. Anik, the ring closes immediately. And Anik looks at you. Olan appears in front of you. And looks at you and goes, was it everything you hoped for?
Oh, that and more. Thank you.
Of course.
These days, I'll have to see what you actually do in the evenings, Anuk. And as I'm still sitting in this booth over here, kind of waving to everybody. Well, good morning, everybody.
Where did he go? He was here, and now
Tipartos, I think you would have known better than to challenge a teleportation master to Dragon Cup
Tipartos was
repeatedly.
hoping he would be a man of honor, and he was a man of honor, but also a man of magic, and Tipartos just...
There's nothing against the rules in Dragon Cup that says no magics.
You're right.
Listen.
Tipartos needs a haggis, and Tipartos needs a blood sausage, and Tipartos needs a cup of coffee. Please, 3 different people get that for Tipartos.
Tipartos, it's all laying
I've-
right here, literally.
Thank you.
I've got-
Goodbye.
I've got a bit of a cure-all for
And
you,
Tipartos just kind of slaps his head on the table.
Can I bring Tipartos like the coffee that I didn't finish from last night? So it's just cold. It's been sitting there.
Yes. Yes, you set down roughly 12-hour-old coffee right directly in front of Tipartos' face.
Thank you.
I'll make Tipartos a prairie oyster. I'm very familiar with, or what is that what it's called? Yeah.
Perfect.
I was very familiar with how Tipartos is feeling.
Is there a straw?
You see this bartender just appears like behind you. Didn't hear him walk up and just like sticks this it looks like almost like a bamboo shoot into the lid of the cup, nods, and then disappears again.
Why does
and-
everybody come and then they go? Goodbye.
I mean, you watched him walk away.
Bye-bye.
This wasn't like appear like apparated and then disapparated. He just like walked up very silently, did what was requested of him, and then walked away again.
He's still gone. Who knows? We may have had covered.
Olan appears.
conversation.
Anuk, I'm assuming, loosely in tow. Appears back and goes, so how'd you sleep?
Bad.
Oh, hey, my
Alright.
friends!
I didn't.
And I am loud, and I mean like shake the rafters loud.
Hi, Anuk.
It seems you've had a good night, my friend.
Oh, like the best night of sleep I've had in.
Oh, look, please.
Oh,
The decibels are so high. Tipartos requests that they be much lower.
Seeing as Anuk yelled as soon as he came in, I'll yell back from the other side of the room. Oh, my night was great. I got my book back.
Why is everybody yelling? Oh,
Pointed to
I get it.
Partos. It's
Please
something I do
stop.
to annoy him on occasion.
nice.
Oh, it works.
You don't have to yell, everyone. It's very
Oh.
simple. And you see that flicks his 2 fingers up like this and holds them to his lips. And Anuk, from where you're standing right next to Olan, you see this small ring appear right next to Partos' ear, and he goes, good morning. And it's just this very direct, like right into your ear.
Can I roll to vomit?
I look over to Olan. I like you. You're fun.
I like it too. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Great, excellent.
oh, I didn't even notice how loud I was. I just, my people, we just very loud. We like to talk over long distances. So, we just, I guess. What?
Hey, you need to shout for sea
Please
travel.
stop.
It makes sense.
Exactly, yeah.
You know you can just fix this, right?
Technically, yes.
The nice thing about
Wow.
Paladin, gently like pats or knocks on breastplate, immune to disease.
Oh, you have that too?
No hangovers, baby.
Is disease poison?
It's incredible.
Being hungover, I will count as either a disease or a poison.
I think I'm immune to both, and if not, I will be soon.
You are.
I'll drop
Why not?
lay on hands into how much is it? 5?
5 points to cure a disease or
Yeah.
remove poison. You immediately feel right as rain.
Okay, can we go get the work done that we need to get work done that Mook sent us here to do?
But
Or are
first, we
going
need to learn about the
Oh.
Arcanist Magnate.
I mean, you don't have to.
Do we? They have no bearing over our job. Lysander. I think
Well, now that Tepartos is of right mind again, Tepartos would like to learn about the Arcanus Magnate. They seem to have had these. Tepartos cannot help but notice all these little books that is held behind everybody and the strange magical runes that they hold. He has many questions about this.
But also, Harlan, my friend, while they may not have anything to do directly with this, they are a powerful magical folk that
Yes.
might be important to know more about in the coming conflict.
I hold
Yeah,
up.
we got books to read.
I literally just I grab the spell book out of my bag, out of my portable hole, and show Harlan, and I'm like, only they can tell me what this says.
I mean, we can't, but
They can't, but once I learn it, it disappears too. But
Wait, what?
it
got a
says-
And I was
job.
like, wait, what?
One
Hold
at a
on,
time.
other book. Is this the same thing?
let me address all of this. Harlan, you have a job to do.
we have a job to do.
I
And
will
don't-
make you a bargain because your friends want to communicate with me. I will put you guys at the base of the spine of the world. So you can start your journey. I'll save you 3
No.
days travel for one conversation.
Well, here's a question then. Do we want to go to Zamorvan Hall and attempt to find that weapon I mentioned?
Zamorvan Hall.
Oh, the
Yes,
dragon
hold
or
on.
the giant slaying weaponry.
Is there something wrong with Zamorvan Hall now, Ola?
Now? Or always has been?
We heard there was a weapon there. I heard there was a weapon there.
There is a plethora of weapons there.
We heard from him there were weapons there, but no problems there.
What is wrong with Zamorvan Hall?
Harlan,
fair-
if your group decides to go to Zamorvan Hall, I will take you there instead. I will still save you multiple days' travel for one conversation. Is this an agreeable?
Forgive me. I'm anxious. That's all.
You have someone you wish to get back to, and that's okay.
I would appreciate it if you did bring it up in front of these strangers, Olan. I know you've been in my head, but that's all right.
I wasn't in your head. We've had this conversation.
You did not tell Harlan. Harlan didn't know that
That's true.
you were lying to him.
I was not. You know what? You're right. Let's get these questions out of the way. I promise you that I will help you get your job done as quickly as possible.
Fine.
Zamorvan Hall first, to get it out of the way. Zamorvan Hall is a very cursed location who has been led by the same commander for the last 300 years. Originally, Zamorvan Hall was a bastion, a place that people would sit and rest on their travels, going to and fro. But over time, it's changed. It's become a curse was laid upon it centuries ago. The commander never dies. His guardians never die. It is said that anyone who steps foot in those halls never dies. Your life force will be drained. But if this weapon could mean that your cause was great and you feel strong and capable enough to take down the commander and break the curse, then by all means go.
Harlan, why again did we want to go to these halls?
I heard there was something there that is particularly good at killing giants.
Okay. So that is one avenue.
And apparently particularly good at killing anyone who sets foot into the halls itself.
Maybe it's the wrong way to go.
Don't get me wrong. You are all
Potentially.
very capable individuals. I think that you would be fine. I can tell you that I went by myself to go experience this curse, and it did change me.
And you are quite powerful as far as we have been able to see thus far.
I'm also 2,700 years old.
That is
Old
fair.
fuck.
You
Would
looking
very much
looking
not
at
like-
Olan, it
Yeah.
looks like a human equivalent of a 15, 16-year-old boy.
Would not like to experience that curse personally.
Honestly, if you broke it, I wouldn't mind all that much. But
Agreed.
We can work on that later.
There is also only one Olan, and There are what, 7 of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, don't
Eight.
get me, I can't go with you.
No, naturally.
You lot are the ones with the hero complex. Isn't breaking curses your thing?
We are not divine. We can't break that curse.
Some of us are.
We are
Some of
not
you-
divine, we have aid of divine.
Some of you channel the divine. Some of you carry weapons that were benefited by the divine.
I point to everyone else.
2 of you specifically.
Yes.
As far as weapons are concerned, all of you have been touched by the gods besides Harlan, but that's. I mean, you're a paladin. You have that going for you, but the rest of these guys literally just came from a very specific demiplane that was dedicated to a primal deity.
We also both met our gods, so
True.
I understand.
Oh, those were great.
You know a lot, my friend.
You let me get in your brain.
That is fair.
Except for
That
me,
makes
of
sense.
course.
Except for you and the temp bard. Everything you told me was because you wanted to say it.
I just said what I had to say to get out of your prison cell, friend. I don't really like being chained up, so.
Very well, Harlan.
I still don't like you. I'll pat him on the shoulder.
Looks at the rest of you and goes, your questions about the Arcanus Magnate. I went and spoke to the High Arbiter. I can give you slightly more than I would normally be allowed to, but there will be questions I can't answer for you. So please go into this conversation knowing that.
Okay.
Ask away.
So once we know the language, the words disappear as we're not the ones meant to read it. But how would we go about using it then?
Once you are inscribed with your spellstone as an Arcanus Magnate, you are given a pool of magic. All of us are limited in some capacity when casting spells. We have certain degrees of magic we can cast a certain number of times until we need to rest again, regain that power. The Arcanus Magnate have that same limitation to an extent, but we also have the spellstone to call upon, which lets us create our own magics. You use the book by creating your own spells inside of it, and then those are added to your arsenal forever.
So
Until
you
the day-
basically learn the spell and absorb it in a sense.
It would be comparable to a wizard copying a new spell into their spellbook. But imagine that there was no spell scroll to copy it from. You just wrote down what you wanted to have happen, and if you were powerful enough to make it happen, it would stay. If it was above what you were capable of, you would lose that amount of your spellstone's power forever.
Almost like our dandy book before we lost it, but for magic and spells, yeah?
Essentially, yes. Harlan, you had something you wanted to say?
It's much easier to just, have some unknowable entity notice you at just the right moment and just give you all your power. I don't get this.
Until that entity is killed.
Sure. I guess.
And if you, boring plain Jane magic you didn't get to make yourself. But
So is
No.
it possible to learn another arcane oh god.
another
Arcanus
Arcanus Magnate spell?
Yes.
No.
Like, because you said this belongs to someone else, so
The only way you would be able to learn someone else's spell is by copying it into your own tome.
but once I learned how to read/write it, the words from this one would disappear.
As would the words from mine, as with the words from everyone but your own.
Do they disappear from normal parchment as well if I don't write it in the magic of the Arcanus Magnet?
Once you learn the language, you will only ever be able to read it if it is written by your own hand. And after you've discovered the power.
I was like, so like if I copied the symbols I see, obviously I can't understand what they mean, but if I copied them down, it would just disappear anyway because I don't have the
To
power.
you, yes.
That's so cool. Sorry.
It's a way to limit our own. We don't wish to become all powerful. We don't want the responsibility that comes with all power.
I understand. I was just confused why I came across this book then.
Where did you get it?
I just had it when he found us, and I will point to Harlan. It was literally the only thing I came back with.
Well, then perhaps you were meant to find it. Or someone's playing a very cruel trick on you.
It is chaos, so it could be both.
Tricks are fun.
Well, that's all I got. I will. You said you'd help in the way you can, and I said I'd come back to learn whenever we finished our thing. So, as Harlan said, we do have a job to do.
Ileana, is your book the same? Because you had placed it on the table, correct?
Yeah, I pulled my book on the table, and is it the same? I asked Olan.
Yeah, that is another tome.
Neat. I take it and I hug it.
Those are highly sought after. So you can either leave them here or take them with you and know that people are going to be looking for those. And if they're outside of the city, well, you'll have to protect yourself.
We do already have people after our heads right now.
Juliana thinks for a couple seconds and then looks back at Olan and holds it out. Will you hold it for me?
It would bring me great honor to do so, Ileana.
I would also
Thank
like to
you.
leave mine here, since I do have plans to come back. I guess we could end up using these later after studying for a
Well,
while.
it's not like I'm going anywhere, so by all means, leave it with me and I'll take care of it for you. Please, feel free to ask away. I know there's more that you would like to know.
It would appear that these tomes, similar to the ones that Ileana and potentially the Tome of Dandelion, regardless of what we found, these tomes that have been trailing behind you and your colleagues are the source of this power. If you do not mind, Tepartos is asking out of pure curiosity, what makes this different from the magic that our friends who already pull from the arcane, who are wizards or bards or sorcerers, what makes you special in this light? And is there any way we can truly learn from this? And please do not take any offense from this, but is there any benefit we can find from this particular sort of textual runic magic as opposed to the pure arcane that has been studied beforehand by our friends?
There are several questions there, and I'll address them as I remember them.
Thank you.
First, we are different from other arcane casters because our power, in all reality, we are not too dissimilar from a warlock. Our power is granted to us by our spellstones.
Yes.
We sign no contracts, we make no deals, but our power is granted by something else. It is not ours naturally. So we differ from wizards and bards in that sense.
Yes.
We differ from wizards in the sense that we can never learn the spells of another. All of the spells we learn, we can learn the basics, but we have to do it on our own. We can learn all of the spells you'd find in spell scrolls and all of those things, but it takes up quite a considerable amount of our spellstone's power to do so.
So you are self-made magic.
We are.
That is
Everything I can
astounding.
do, I made myself.
That is very impressive.
This the rings that I cast. I focused very specifically on transportation magic when I was given my tome. I wanted to learn how to see the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be able to do those things. And so I became a scout for the army of Silvery Moon. I practiced, I worked hard, I got better and better at casting, and I never took it upon myself to learn the basics of transportation from anyone. A lot of people, when they choose their specifications, will learn the basics of those schools of magic and then build off of those to make their own spells. I'm well aware that spells like Misty Step, Dimension Door, and all those exist, but I just never thought I would need them. I did it all myself. Because I was so fine-tuned, I created it so much. Transportation has become an innate part of me. I can teleport as if you were walking across a room.
Fascinating.
That's why I want to come back and study.
So you have almost a symbiosis with your magics. When you get as trained in your skill, it is as natural as breathing.
For some. For those that heavily follow their specification, yes. Our magic becomes a part of us, much like the magic of a sorcerer would, where it comes naturally, it grows naturally. The more that we use our magic, the more power we have to pull from. And not in a sense of, for those of you with deities or patrons you follow.
Yes.
Not in a sense of the more we prove ourselves to those deities or patrons, we earn more power from them. Ours is literally a grind.
And is this something that is unique to Silvery Moon? Is this found in other places, or is this the way that you, your people, your ancestors have been able to find your place within the world, within the weave?
It is not only in Silvery Moon, but it originated here.
Yes.
We have a place called the Harbor that is the source of our spellstones.
Yes.
Thousands of years ago, some dumb schmuck decided to shove one inside of himself and see what happens.
Sounds stupid.
As it
Yeah,
so
I mean-
often is.
Science.
And now we're here.
I mean, it sounds kind of like the first guy who decided, crab, that thing it got a hard shell, but I bet it tasty inside.
It's much like the first person who decided they wanted to be able to conjure fire on their own. It's much like the first person who decided that they wanted to have a divine relationship at a higher extent than your casual faithful person. Much like the first person who decided to take a sharp object and hone it to their own needs.
Brilliance through destruction. We know this well.
I myself disagree with that point. I have no offensive capabilities.
Oh, you're just not thinking it through.
Don't get me wrong, I can defend myself.
Could you throw some punches, maybe?
Sure, I could, but look at me. I wouldn't do a whole lot if I did. But you could throw a punch to me and then end up hitting yourself.
And you
Good
did
one.
come back mauled by a dragon, so
You seem just fine after tremendous amounts of poison and general
Were
sadness.
you drunk?
Wait,
when
what do you
did
mean
that?
mauled by a dragon?
Yes.
Oh, I
yeah.
never spoke to you. I went and saw old Gnawbone for you.
Oh, yes.
Did she get my letter?
No. I tried. Please believe me that I tried. But then she spit poison at me, and it
took
didn't
the
go
meeting
well.
poorly.
Pretty classic for her.
I told her, direct quote, I said, "Dear Clagilmiader, I come bearing a letter from your betrothed who wish to send this to you on their behalf." They looked at me, said they'd never once been even inclined to be betrothed, let alone had a relationship that lasted more than a night, and prompted to burn me alive.
With poison.
Bard's gonna need a moment.
Juliana goes,
Tempard, if you are willing to listen, forgive me for any imprudence, but it may appear as though because of the interesting timey-wimey stuff we have been through, Old Nabon may not necessarily remember the interactions we've had before, and maybe something we have to revisit before you are able to be with your beloved, your betrothed, your how do you say, giant dragon beastie waifu.
Bard's just violently sobbing at this point, for the record.
no.
It's
I'd like
very
to give them a
loud.
gentle peck.
It's not at all
back.
pretty either. Like,
I'm very sorry. I'm not great at social interactions.
All right.
You are fine. This is to be expected.
There is more nuance to this than you probably know, and we do not fault you for it. Was there anything in return besides acid burns?
There was a return letter.
Did
But
they
at
take the
this
sending
point-
stone?
I don't think you should read it.
Did they take the sending stone we sent?
No! Of course they didn't take the sending stone you sent.
Listen, Tempard. They come and go. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
Well, then I would like it back.
this is a giant green dragon!
Thank you.
I
Not a
know,
fish.
but they can't be the best, partners out there. There's got to be someone better.
At this point,
She was perfect in every way. She told me to send her a letter before we were going to do the giant thing.
Any chance I would have ever seen a lizard?
You've definitely
See-
seen a lizard.
we're thinking on the same wavelength, but
Yeah.
I was gonna wild shape into a cat,
Okay.
a black cat like Ivan.
Oh my god.
I would
Crawl
like
up
to.
into Timpard's lap and just start making biscuits.
While that's happening, I'd like to druidcraft 2 leaves,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna wild shape into a green lizard. Grab those leaves, hold them on my back, and then 2-leg
Oh.
walk up to Tempard.
Oh my god.
so
Bard's too
cute.
busy crying.
He's still so cute.
I think with this, we should probably go.
Can I offer some introspection that I may not be warranted to offer?
Please.
Yes, but if I punch you afterward, it's completely justified.
You would wholly miss. Tempard, perchance, did you have a conversation with old Gnawbone about your objectives of stopping the giants?
Yeah.
Perchance, was the telling to send a letter promptly following that conversation?
I'm pulling out my notes real quick because I wrote it down. Yeah, I was told to send a letter to her before we attacked Giant's Keep.
So- Is there a possibility that perchance the letter you were supposed to send was, "We're about to attack the giants, come help us beat them"?
I just wanted her to know that we were okay.
But it was not the letter that we were supposed to send, to be fair.
So perchance there was just a miscommunication, and that you still have a shot with this dragon, but the timing of everything is a little weird right now.
The Bartos will say, we did say that we would contact Old Gnawbone in the event that something happened with the giants and with the furthering of our own particular plans with the ordering. We have only just come back within the past day, maybe two. We sent a friend here who is a expert in teleportation magic and also seems to be able to tank incredible amounts of poison damage, much to his credit. Thank you again, my friend, our friend.
I can explain that too if you would like.
Actually, I would
You
love
already
questions.
you did last night.
You
I-
did,
I-
but
Well, kind of, but yes.
the Partos would love to finish his train of thought and then would love every amount of exposition possible based on what you are going.
Apologies to Partos. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. The Partos would love to hear what you are saying, but the Partos wants to get through this so he can be quiet, but say the parts that seem to be needed to be said. That was not grammatically correct, but the Partos really is. We as a group are in a hard space, a hard spot. We have a weapon, supposedly, that will help us in taking down the giants. We have a giant that we are supposed to help take down the giants to place an order of the giants in order to restructure the ordering of the giants. It seems as though these particular pieces of this puzzle split together 1, 2, and 3. So, if we are able to get this weapon, find Moog, take down Groothog, and then talk to her as this military commander who will then tell us what we can do going forward from here. This seems to be our best course of action. And once we have started on this journey, this is the thing that will allow Tempart to be with their beloved and betrothed who they have dedicated themselves to, who will not be angry at the messenger because this assault and siege has not yet happened. It seems as though everything is pointing us towards beginning the siege, beginning this assault. We have been given new friends in Harlan, in the city of Silvery Moon, who can aid us in this. Tepartos does not want to say conquest, but in this journey, in this battle that we have been destined to be a part of almost since we have all been together. So what does everybody think?
There are a few things that I would like to clarify, if that's okay. I want you guys to have your conversation, but you can't rely on Silvery Moon as an ally.
Yes.
The High Arbiter, the current High Arbiter, is unafraid. He believes that the Arcanus Magnate is strong enough solely in Silvery Moon, not even gathering all of our forces from wherever they may be, that we would just be able to defend ourselves should that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like takes a look around the room. I don't agree.
Well, you better become the High Arbiter fast.
Oh, I have no interest in that job at all. That's a lot of responsibility for a guy who doesn't like to be here or anywhere for too long.
We appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
But that was what I just wanted to make sure. I am a dutiful ally, and I will come should you need me to fight in a giant war with...
Olan, you don't have to fight the giants and the
Thank
dragons.
fucking God.
Hold on.
However,
I do see some practicality and some usefulness for this instantaneous teleportation. If you ever need work, look me up.
I don't think you could match my wages, but should I get bored, I will.
Listen, we're getting bigger by the day, okay? That's all. You don't need to be... Okay, fine.
work or no, We understand that Silverine Moon cannot pledge itself as an ally. However, it seems as though, and forgive us if we're wrong, but it seems as though we have been able to make you as a friend. And even if we do not include you in the heat of battle, which we do not expect you to be a part of, if you will allow us to, you shall be considered to us a very powerful and very utilitarian ally. We have no expectation that you shall go out and fight giants and slay dragons. We understand that is not something that you wish to do, but if you are willing to assist us when we may need assistance, it is something we will be forever in your debt for. We are in need of help right now, and you are truly exactly what we need. If you are willing.
Bartos, exactly how?
Who has
We have to
teleportation
solve-
magic among us? Who can get
Midget.
from important sides of the world to another on a whim
Oh, not me. No.
without
is-
massive amounts of resources?
Bartos, Olan is not a taxi service.
He is not. But he is a friend, and this world is one in which he lives, and if he wishes to see it to continue, he may want to assist us.
You
He has
don't-
no obligation to assist us.
You
Tapartos
don't have to justify anything. If I can help, and I'm available to do so, I will. But the reason I've been allowed to spend so much time freely with you all is because I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on you. That is my orders right now.
We're a new face in the city, so therefore implicitly a threat.
Exactly.
In a recently attacked, you know what I mean.
Right. I don't have, as much as I do have free will, my orders have to come first.
Yes.
There is a hefty price to pay for not following your orders as immediately as they are given.
Understood. And Tapartos does want it to be known to you and to the rest of his party. He is not hoping to wish you as a taxi service or as a slave or
I took no
anybody
offense.
else.
And if I could just leave and come with you and help you get to where you need to go to end this threat, I would.
Yes. Yes. Tapartos, and he believes everybody else understands this implicitly. Basically, Tapartos is asking if you can help and if you are willing to help with the great gifts that you have, we would very much appreciate it. If you are unable to, for any way, shape, or form, we understand, but you have the potential to be a very, very valuable ally to us in our cause, and Tapartos, at the risk of speaking for everybody else, and if anybody else has any other dissenting opinions, would like you to invite you to join that cause, which is the cause of the furthering of the realm on which all of us live.
Tumult, can I have that sending stone back?
I was literally about to offer it.
On that note, anyone have the capability to get a message somewhere?
Tumult.
Huh?
Hold on.
Kind of.
I mean, it really depends on where.
Would I know where my men are stationed, where
Yes.
they're at right now? Okay.
Yes, they're all at Belliard waiting to
Belliard.
go.
Okay. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and write out a letter to Telmandino, my cousin, my second in command. Basically saying, open up recruitment. Take anyone that can hold a weapon. I want our numbers doubled. And basically just hand it to Olan. They're in Belliard. He doesn't look at all like me, but he's a handsome fellow. He's got more digits on his hands and more eyes on his face.
Is it the dwarf or the other gentleman?
He would be Elvin. Not the dwarf. Not Sagarin either. The elf.
Okay. Turns and like just like walks out through a ring.
Thank you. You're the best.
I love him.
Okay, so what do we want to do?
Part
We
of the
have-
world.
I mean, yes, but we also have a potential curse to break that might get us a sword to help fight giants, or we could just get the Eye of the Allfather and move on from there.
Well, it seems as though we have a few options. Option one is the most direct option. We immediately leave here, travel south, meet up with Moog, and siege Grudhog, and go from there.
Lose immediately.
And lose. You are right. Potentially. Moog told Tepartos that we would lose immediately if we ever did so. However, we are much stronger and more powerful and more potent than we were when we were originally there. However,
I trust the head of this current army more than Tepartos' sense of will.
as does Tepartos. There is a weapon that Harlan has spoken to us of, and Tepartos personally thinks that if we are able to obtain this, discover this within the surrounding area, and then go down and pursue our objective, we have a much higher chance of success.
The weapon or the eye? You're not being clear.
Honestly, at this point, if they are close, both.
That is literally what I want to do. Like, I think we just go to the eye and then come down, because we're going to have to come back down anyway. And technically, Zamorvan Hall's kind of on the way down.
It's also on the way there.
Yes.
Unless
Not-
we are
not-
teleported.
Not
to the-
if he takes us.
Exactly. So we have a person who may be able to get us across long distances very quickly. So if we take an amount of time that will allow us to achieve something that will be very beneficial, especially to some things that have the potential to be very beneficial up here, and then immediately go down, we could be a force to be reckoned with, as opposed to a force that may or may not succeed.
So I agree with Tumult that it might be worthwhile to go to the eye and then hit Zamorvan Hall on the way back down, as opposed to try and have
Oh,
more of a
wait.
path up.
Did you just say you agreed with Tumult?
I know. I tried to not make a big deal of it.
Honestly,
I-
Tepartos hates to say it, but he does too. He agrees with Tumult. This seems like the smartest way that we can do this.
What was in the drinks you were drinking last night? Because I think it has affected your.
Or Tumult is finally starting to make sense after being yelled at by Sylvanas.
Tepartos
that could
has a
be.
sense to
It
agree
wasn't
with.
really yelled at. It was a
First.
stern talking to.
Emerald, I have no issues
Yelling.
with you, prior or current, and I agree with you.
Oh, you'll get issues. Trust me.
I feel like we're very much similar, so I doubt that. One question I do have for all of you,
Yes.
anybody, friends, family, anybody that can hold a weapon, you should tell them to go to Beliard now.
Don't know where they are.
As you
It doesn't have to be family.
many adventurers' family is in short supply, and mine is safely tucked away and will stay that way.
Hey,
It doesn't.
I will look at everyone around here and say, hey, you heard what he said, friends. Pick up your weapons and go join his army instead of going on our, world-saving quest.
You be
Sounds
Not-
great. Let's go directly to Grutog.
Ergak is still a lizard, so I'll like
You
bend
said
one of the
outside
leaves
of
down as a
family.
shield and start like
Oh,
swinging the other
yeah.
leaf around
It's still a cat.
like a sword.
Not
I just gotta look at you like, well, you said other than family.
anybody, friends any of you have made, organizations you belong
Right
to.
here.
We will eventually have to get Phil, Soup, and Gum Gum, and maybe
Yes.
a dragon ally.
Oh, speaking of,
We do
I will
have
pull out
those
the sending
apples.
stone that is the other half of what we asked to be taken to Gum Gum.
Okay.
Gum Gum. Hello.
Oh,
No. Most likely still asleep.
He was severely injured.
Or he pawned it off. He is a goblin.
Also that.
Severely injured is a very nice way to say was very dead at your guys' hands.
He kind of killed
Anyway.
me too, so
Fair's fair.
No. Long sleep.
long sleep. Yeah, take a nap.
Come, I know you're mad at the other people here, your so-called friends, but I just wanted to let you know that we are going to the Eye of the All-Father, or looking for the Eye of the All-Father somewhere in the spine of the world.
Don't send Gum to the mountains. We don't
do
know how long
not
we're
go
gonna be
there.
there.
We
There's a
our
lot of
plan
mountains.
is to meet up at Groodhog with Moog.
No, Belliard. Belliard.
Belliard?
Belly
Yeah. With Moog.
in order to assault Broodhog.
Make your way to Belliard as fast as possible. You can use this stone to contact me at any time. I might not reply right away, but
Me and all of
I'll
my
have
men
it.
are going to die.
if you can hear it.
Yes.
Does a sending
Tempard,
stone have a message or answering machine? A voicemail box?
I'll
hello,
try
you've
again
reached the
later
box
if
of-
it doesn't. I'm just assuming he can hear it, but I'll try again later if I don't get a response at some point.
Tempard, Ileana, we have not yet heard your opinions on this matter. How do you feel about this course of action?
I think we should go up to the spine mountain thing and then hit the temple on the way back. Because we're coming back here, right? Right? We're coming back here.
Supposedly for a brief stop, yes.
I'd like to go
some point.
straight
Kinda
to
like-
Belliard.
Walk over to Ileana. I was like, "We'll come back at some point. I also want to come back."
Yay.
It may not be immediately, but there's a trip warranted to return.
Well, honestly, if we come back here, we have a friend who may be able to take us directly to Belliard.
It's not far south from here.
Not far, but it could be 2 days versus 2 minutes, which may be all the time in the world.
Again, I don't want to use our new friend as a taxi service.
Yes, but he seems to be.
Why
willing to
not?
help the cause.
That's
You're
about
about to use your other new friends, friends and family as cannon fodder, so I don't. You don't have any friends you could call.
Tapartos promises he will try to keep you alive.
What about the 200 other people?
Soup, Phil,
That too.
a very friendly and very powerful boulet, and a goblin with some guns.
Well,
a couple
he's
of
still
horses.
just
I-
a baby.
I will say there's a lot of resources you guys are forgetting and not tapping.
Yeah. Trying
There's-
to remember them.
There's
You'll get there.
The city
Gnawbone
of
when we.
Nightstone.
There's
City of
Gnawbone, the
Goldenfields.
city of Nightstone, Golden Fields.
We
Oh,
kind of saved them both.
of
Dragon
course,
dude in Waterdeep.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dandy and are the druids on their side in this?
I don't know if they can help us, but they said that they would listen.
They said you call on them once.
Yep, we can call on them one time.
So if you do it for Groodhog, you
Druids.
do it for Groodhog. If you do it for
Anything else, we do it for
I'd
that.
rather not for Groodhog.
Right, but there's always the possibility is the thing.
We have
Why
clutch
not?
druids if we need clutch druids.
But
Why would you not do it
Regardless-
for Groodhog?
Because there might be a lot worse things.
there
than
is
Groundhog.
one
Yeah.
very important person in this puzzle of saving the world that I pointed to Partos wants his head on a pike.
Yeah.
Yes, Dandelion, the head of well, a prominent member of Xerxes and a literal god who wants us dead.
It's frightening to think that he is not the most important member of Xerxes. That causes Tapartos stress. to
Yeah, the
his
fact
I
that
think
the High
that's-
Arbiter said he was not the leader.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
I
personally.
disagree.
Listen,
Who's his boss, though?
Yeah,
Exactly.
But as we have learned with our good friend as Olan as a point of reference, not everyone in a totem pole agrees. If the person at the top has a different view on how things should be taken care of and not want to Parsos' head on a pike, personally, I'd like to keep it that way.
It's true, we might have order on our side if Dandelion's not the only
I'm
one.
just
who
saying,
feels
if the
that
person
way.
at the top, the most powerful, isn't the one that wants your head on a pike, we at least stand a chance.
Tumult, I don't like that you're making sense to me now.
Partos understands what you're saying. And Tepartos also heavily agrees with Lysander. However, Tepartos has little faith that somebody from this organization does not want his head on a pike. Based on what he knows about this organization, just
I mean,
throw
yeah,
him
but you
back
haven't
out there.
interacted. As far as we know, we've only interacted with him. So,
True.
once again, we don't
However,
know for sure.
we also have to deal with a contract with the King of Hell, and Tepartos has promised his soul to Tempard within the next 30 days. So
Olan said he'd
Tepartos
help
is
with
stuck.
that.
He did.
Tempard stops crying for just a second, 22, and then continues, face back down on the table crying.
Wait.
22 days.
So we go now?
We could
Yes,
use.
please.
Oh,
Yes, Harlan.
Yes, Harlan.
I'm still hung up on this. There's no one you could call.
No, we have plenty of people we can call and will call. But
They
we
are
kind of need.
If you don't call them, my friends will die.
Harlan. They are clutch call in the battle type of people.
Okay.
The druids, at least, we have to call in the moment of need.
Yes.
We can reach out to others, potentially. We can rack our brains and our notes and determine who else we can reach out to. I personally do not want to send a clan of furbolgs less mighty than I am to their deaths, and it would take them 2 weeks to get here. That's the only
Especially-
mundane enough people I can call to your aid right now. They would be too late and be slaughtered immediately.
Tepartos
I
agrees.
understand that. I understand.
We will have friends there, though.
It's all right. I just feels like we're underprepared. That's all.
We understand your concern, and it is real. However, through the friends we have made, the allies we have gained, we can call upon them, but unless we call upon all of them, it seems as though this point will be moot. We may be able to give them warning, we may be able to give them a precursor to what may happen and when it may happen if we desperately need to call on them, but it seems as though the best course of action to protect and save those that we have left whom we love, it may be best to focus on the strongest fighters that we have and proper tactical defenses in order to succeed in our goals, as opposed to raw numbers that we must watch
And
go
we-
to the slaughter.
Are going to get this eye for you.
We are.
It's not for me.
You know what I mean. The quest you are sent on to protect your men and protect all of humanoid kind and non-humanoid kind.
Forgive me for yelling. I'm sorry.
We understand.
We get that you're putting your own men at risk here, but I mean, not to sound I guess rude. You know what you signed up for?
Honestly,
I'm-
I don't know if you did, having met us now.
Yes.
I signed up on a promise that I could get more allies.
And
And
you have 7.
My
Allies you
my-
found.
people wouldn't be the ones to take the brunt. But so far they are.
I mean, trust me, I pointed to Parthos. He likes to do things on his own for other people. I'm sure he would help them a lot. But
Not wrong.
I'm not saying that we won't call other people. I'm saying that there are some of them I would personally place in the off limits category for this part of our journey. It seems like we have more of these sieges to come, and we should probably not waste the big guns, as they say, on the first battle.
People will be there for Groothog. You, to be fair, have not seen what we can do yet. We're
Yes,
probably
sir.
more mighty than we look.
I'm still tentative.
Debatable.
He'll look around at all of you and just kind of, well, I'm tentative on that front, but listen, I did all the tactical thinking and the preparing I could do. And this still happened. He points to his eye patch.
And this time you will have 7 other minds to help you. And I kind of walk behind Templar. This is our battle master.
Sobbing into their drinks. Their plate of food.
I think
Not always this bad. Also, them from before did not have big gun. Does that break you up a little bit?
Gun.
You were very different than literal first meeting on the way to Waterdeep.
I'm still crying. Sorry.
We know. We're just trying to cheer you up.
No
and remind you
sweet,
that you
no
have
sweet or
a
kind
mood.
words can heal Tempart's broken heart.
Partus
We're just trying
understands
to
this, would
distract
still
you
like to
by
give a
reminding you
gentle
have a
pat
new
on the back.
shiny big gun. You're the battle planner. You're the
I think
distractions.
I
The
think
point is-
mine will be taking over on that front. He's a
There's-
much more experienced man.
I understand your hesitation, Harlan. There is more to us than it seems, and we will throw everything we can at the assault of Grudhog, if possible, and then deal with Xerxes later. We're
Ugh,
going to do everything in our power to let less people die.
yes.
I can
Your guys
promise
will,
you that.
He'll take his leaves and do like angry eyebrows and like kick a cherry off the table.
Still in lizard form?
Yes.
You have
He
like an
plans-
hour, right?
That's what, yeah, I have an
Plans
hour.
on
Yeah.
literally kicking ass, and it's kind of like what he's very good at.
Oh my god.
I
I
get
think.
it.
But anyway, I think we should go. We can continue this conversation, I think, while we look for the eye.
Agreed. This eye is what we are close to. This is the task that Harlan has been given by Moog, and if it was given by her at this point, no task could be more important before this siege. So let us achieve it quickly and as easily as possible. And hopefully show Harlan a little bit of what we all as a clan can do.
I'll hop off of Tempar's lap now and then pop back up into a nook.
Don't worry, Tapartos. We'll get you to your girlfriend.
We know. Are we in agreement?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I had a girlfriend.
Tempart, Tempartos will scour the earth to find Gnawbones, old Gnawbones for you, and truly allow you to be with your sexy dragon sweetheart.
Can we get chocolate before we leave?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can get chocolate. You deserve
I
that.
would like chocolate.
The bartender walks up right next to you with just like a tray of various chocolates.
I just take the tray and I continue sobbing into them
whole
as
tray.
I'm just like eating like
go.
fistfuls of chocolate.
Can we get a flask of hot chocolate to go?
Can I just have
Walks-
some whiskey to go, please? Thank you.
Leaves, comes back a little bit later with a like a sealed barrel with a stopper on the top, and then just a bottle of your like average whiskey. Hands it to you.
I'm assuming
Thank
at this
you.
point, Olan's come back.
Olan comes back and he is like sopping wet from head to toe.
I love him.
Are they in the ocean?
Oh, I
No,
know
there's-
about that.
There was just a very friendly belay that wanted to say hi.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
George.
Oh.
Did you
I
find a
kinda-
sending stone in there, perchance?
I didn't get eaten. He just licked me a lot.
That's fair.
I kind of look at it like he did eat it.
that's
We'll have to
okay. It'll
look
come
for
out
that.
eventually.
I hope by the time we get there, or it's just gonna be kind of left somewhere.
But it's not my job to clean up after the sending stone.
No.
oh
I'm
boy.
just-
So, with a plan made to get as close to the Eye of the Allfather as possible, and then see what's in store for you there, I think that'll be where we end this episode of The Dice That Bind Us to move forward. Thank you all so much for watching, for sticking with us, for hopefully enjoying everything that we're putting out. Insert every YouTuber under the sun shit here.
Like,
Like,
comment,
comment, subscribe,
subscribe.
hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
Come
Don't miss
hang
the
out.
next episode.
Yeah. Again, you can catch Kimber on Twitch at Kimber is gonna stream. You see Kimber playing some fun games. Some of us pop in from time to time to play some games too. So if you want to see more of us, see more of Kimber, go there. It's a good time. And we will see you next week for another episode of The Dice That Bind Us.
Bye.
Goodbye.